Hey you guys, so this is a what's good for Agatha All Along. Now, at first I thought I would just talk about the show, but I have since learned from my last video like, hey, just do it. Just talk about it. Like you're here to rave about it. You're here to, essentially kind of give that recommendation. And so with this show, if you are a committed Marvel person, then yes, you've probably seen all the other Marvel shows or the movies recently that have come out to help connect with this show. I feel like, though, if maybe you're new, if you've heard about the show, like, hey, I heard it has magic, witches, it's coming out during spooky season, which I think helps a lot. You know, I think they can, anyone can still watch it. They do a good job of, hey, this helps kind of explain some things. If you need more detail or you need more substance, then yes, you will have to probably watch WandaVision, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, you know, those two in particular to get a fuller grasp on this particular show. If you just want more of that substance and that detail in regards to some of the things, but I think they do a good job of, hey, this is kind of a little side connection, a little side project. Like, here we're putting you into this world. We'll give you a little tidbit, but it's not going to be everything that has already been explained. I think what also helps as well is the characters are really enjoyable. You learn a lot more. Again, if you watched WandaVision, you learn more in regards to Agatha, kind of her personality, how things came to be in regards to, her backstory. And I think that happens a lot with some shows. Like, you have your kind of side character. They were maybe the villain, not super important, at the time. But then now with, whatever side project, this newer, these newer shows, you get more of a grasp, and then you tend to enjoy those characters more as you learn more about them. And I think as well, the whole cast is, I think, just really enjoyable. They got a lot of star players here, honestly. And I think with the storytelling, the way, like, how things are set up, how these characters are written, just a lot of it, I think people can just relate. Some of these things they can just really relate to. There's one particular episode where it focuses more so on Lilia. And you learn in regards to Lilia how her kind of magic or specialty works, how that episode in particular is shot and done. I think it's just really well done. Like, I watched that episode, I think, like 3 or 4 times, because it was just really interesting to see from that perspective how, even from past episodes, how things kind of mash together, how you see it from that point of view, that sort of angle. It's good. It's interesting. I think, again, with how things are set up, how they're staged, the whole purpose of this show, it's just done really well. And especially with some of these twists, some of the things that maybe we didn't know about, it just adds to that kind of watchability. It makes you want to know, okay, what is going to happen next week? What am I in for? What's the new suspense? It was just done really well. I will say, there is one thing. I don't want to get into too many spoilers if you have not watched the show. There are a group of characters that are mentioned, but I feel like not a whole ton was done with them. And so a part of me kind of feels like that was not super necessary, but it was interesting to see. If you take that element out, it's not like they're there or, even mentioned a whole ton. They're just sort of there, which, again, pro and con. It's not like they are adding a whole ton to the story, but also then why are they kind of there? So that's my only, I would say, issue with this show. Aside from that, I think it's just done really well. I feel like there's that possibility for another season, or with how I think currently the timeline for release of shows and movies, it will just lead to another show or even a movie. But I feel like probably more so a show. Um, it was just really enjoyable. Again, like I think from what I've read, it's probably been the most watched, and even with a lot of the production and the cost that went into it, it wasn't as much as some of the other shows, which again, pro and a con. Depends on how you look at it, but I very much recommend it. If you know, one, if you enjoy Marvel, like I went into it, I watch all the Marvel stuff, but I was like, hey, it's a show about witches. I'm in. Like, you know, say less. I will watch it. Just give it to me as long as it continues to be good. Like, I'm good. Um, so yeah, and especially too, I don't know if anyone has seen, but the fact that they have how many versions of the Ballad of the Witch's Road. I mean, that song is like number one currently. 3 versions of that song is currently saved, constantly on repeat. And I could not tell you if that's a good or a bad thing. To me, it's a good thing, but I don't know if it would be not sad, but I could foresee that being at the end of the year, like the Apple Music, Spotify Wrapped situation. I could see that being like, hey, one, two, three. Here are your versions that you've listened to on repeat. I have no shame. So, and I know others have felt the same. So, I very much recommend this show. Again, if you watch all the Marvel stuff, if you don't, I think it's just an entertaining show. People will have a good time with it, and others have very much enjoyed it as well, which I think is a very good plus overall for, I think, what was expected. So I very much recommend it. If you have any thoughts, please feel free to leave those down below, and I will talk to you later. Bye.